Today we will talk about monitoring and controlling project work process, monitoring stakeholder engagement, and project management data and information, validate scope, process, control quality, integrated change control and control schedule, control cost, monitor risk, control quality, and monitor communication. In most of the time, we are going to talk to various stakeholders to make sure that everything is under control, right? So here we need to communicate to different team members so that they can be aware of the various stages. Now, if we talk about first process, which is monitor and control project work process, let's see what is that, what is inside it. So basically, the process of tracking, reviewing, and reporting progress to meet the performance objective as per the plan. Okay. Now, the key benefit of the process is that allow stakeholders to understand what? Current state of the project, the steps taken, and budget schedule and scope forecast. Now, what is that? So basically, we have to manage each and everything. You know that in project management, we have project initiation, and then planning, execution, and closure. And you know that monitoring and control is everywhere. Correct? So that's how we are going to work on these things. Now, so what does monitoring include? So in monitoring, we include things like collecting, for example, from where, measuring what and why, distribution, performance information, it means to whom, when, and how, assess, measurement, and trends to effectively process involvement, means goals. So here we are going to talk about a few more elements, then I'm going to explain it. Now, we compare the actual project performance against the project measurement plan, that is called technique, assessing whether any corrective or preventive actions are required, ongoing risk management, maintaining accurate, timely information base, providing information to support status reporting, providing forecast, monitoring, implementing approved changes, and providing appropriate reporting on project process status to program management or any other relevant stakeholder. All right, so let's go back to the previous slide and talk about each and everything one by one. So what does monitoring include? It is basically in all the phases. It is not the fourth phase as we see in the papers. So monitoring means we are going to monitor the project from start to end. Okay, in all the phases. So what it includes collecting things. It means from where we are going to collect the information. From where? From where means whether it is from this machine or this software or this vendor or this person. Measuring what and why is what are we going to measure? For example, temperature or length of something if it is a project, or in software project, we can measure what and why means what kind of APIs, what kind of servers are we measuring, and why we are measuring these kind of server status, whether it is active, what is the speed of something, and distributing performance information like to whom, when, and how. Whom means whether it is going to see you, when you should send the email, it is where it is. So maybe uh, first day of the week or second day of the week, and how, whether somebody like email information or somebody want printed information. So you should be distributing information according to their choices, not your choices. Then assessing measurements and trends to effect process improvement means rules. Next element is comparing actual project performance against the project management plan. Basically, it can be technique. And how do we compare these things? We create project baseline. So baseline can be cost baseline, schedule baseline, right? Baseline means something like approved plan. We can have 10 plus 1, 11 baselines in Microsoft project. Okay. So what do we do with baseline? Baseline is like a benchmark or approved plan, and we can just check how much we have deviated from our actual plan to actual performance. Then assessing performance to determine whether any corrective or preventive actions are indicated, and then recommending those actions. So as a project manager, we need to work on these things as well. And obviously ongoing risk management. We don't just say that, okay, we have worked on risk management, now everything is completed. But now we need to understand if we are working on risk management, it is throughout the project. You may not identify some risks if you start a project now, but after the starting of the project, you will realize that, okay, based on this product launch, we got a new risk. Because of this strategy change of government policy change, we have got a new risk. Risk means deviation from our existing plan. That's called risk. Then maintaining accurate, timely information base. What does that means? Information base means whatever the current status of the project is, it should be accurate and timely updated. Means we should not have data which is 1 month old. If it is 1 month old, please mention that this data retrieved on this date, and next retrieval date is this date. Okay, and providing information to support status reporting. All right. So status reporting means it's not just your reports, but various offices may have various employees who will be changing the format based on their boss, and they need some kind of information from you. That's called status reporting, like providing information for status reporting. For example, office of CEO or office of marketing head, they might have some employees who will be creating lots of reports based on that manager's choice. Then we need to provide some forecast in monitoring. Forecast means, okay, I think this process is going to be delayed because of these external factors or internal. Then monitoring implementation of approved changes. Obviously, whenever we are working on a project, we get lots of changes. If we got a change, it means we have to monitor approved changes work also. Then provide appropriate reporting on project progress and status to program management when project is part of the program. Understand? Program or portfolio is a bigger part of project. Like what your project may be individual, but most of the time, all those projects are a part of a big program, and programs are part of a big portfolio. That's how we manage project and program, and make sure monitoring is completely is completed by project manager so that everything becomes accessible for the program managers. Okay, let's discuss monitoring and control project work defines by comparing. Comparing means actual project performance against the project management plan, assessing performance to determine whether any corrective or preventive actions are indicated, and then recommending those actions. Ongoing risk management, maintain accuracy, right? And then support status update, providing forecast, monitoring implementation of approved change, and so on. To monitor and control project work means key terminology regarding project data and information. We have work performance data, which is basically the raw observations and measurements identified during activities performed to carry out the project work. Examples: the reported percent of work physically completed, quality and technical performance measures, start and finish dates of scheduled activities, and number of change requests, number of defects, actual cost, and actual durations, etc. Then work performance information is the performance data collected from various controlling processes, analyzed in context, and integrated based on relationship across areas. Example is status of the deliverable, implementation status for change request, and forecasting estimate to complete, how much time it will take to complete. All right, then work performance report will be like physical or electronic representation of work performance information compiled in project documents, which is intended to generate decisions or raise issues, actions, or awareness. For example, it could be status report, memo, justification, information notes, electronic dashboards, recommendations, and updates. And now we will be talking about monitor stakeholder engagement. If you check project management body of knowledge, 6th edition, you will see in monitor stakeholder engagement, there are some input, tools and techniques, and outputs. So input would be like project management plan, project documents, work performance data, EEF and OPAs. The project management plan would include resource management plan, communication management plan, and stakeholder engagement plan. And we can have project documents like issue log, lesson learned, register, project communications, and work performance data. Now, if we talk about tools and techniques, what kind of tools and techniques we are going to use here? We can use data analysis, like alternative analysis, root cause analysis, and stakeholder analysis. And decision making, we have multi-criteria decision analysis, maybe voting. And in data representation, we can have stakeholder engagement assessment metrics. And communication skills will be required, like feedback or presentation. Interpersonal and team skills will be used like in your tools and techniques, like active listening, cultural awareness, leadership, networking, and political awareness. So you can see these concepts are too generic. It's not very specific to project, but these things will be valid in all the situations. As you know that interpersonal and team skills are always required everywhere. You cannot be good in your skill and you get success if you don't talk to others. You need to talk to different people. You have to be good in communication. You should understand how to listen to the people. You need to know what culturally, which event is important for the person in your team. And you should have some leadership skills, networking, and political awareness, obviously. And if it is monitor stakeholder engagement, what will be the output? What do you think? Yeah, it will be work performance information, change request, project management plan, updates, pro- where we are going to update resource management plan, communication management plan, and stakeholder engagement plan. And we will update project documents. We will update issue log, lesson learned, register, risk register, stakeholder register. All right. So we talk about these things in next 2 3 minutes. All right. So that's how we monitor stakeholder engagement, and that's how we plan this. And now we'll talk about project management data and information. What's that? It's basically throughout the life cycle of project, a significant amount of data is collected, analyzed, and transformed. Project data are collected as a result of various processes and are shared within the project team. The collected data are analyzed in context, aggregated, and transformed to become project information during various processes. Information is communicated verbally or stored and distributed in various formats, okay, and reports. So what is verbally report? So basically we can have weekly meeting or daily meeting and we speak about the status. Okay, verbally we inform them. Okay, origin of work performance data could be work performance data are the raw observation and measurement identified during activities being performed to carry out the project work. These are the lowest level of detail from which information is delivered by other processes. Data is gathered through work, execution, and passed to the controlling process to further analysis. For example, work completed, key performance indicator, KPIs, technical performance measurement, actual start date, finish dates of scheduled activities, story points completed, deliverable status, schedule progress, number of change requests, number of defects, actual cost incurred, and actual duration, etc. Okay, project management information system provides access to information technology software tools such as scheduling software tool, work authorization system, configuration management system, information collection, and distribution systems, as well as interfaces to the online automated systems such as corporate knowledge base repositories. All right. If we check project management data and information, so input will be any component of project management plan. Project documents will be used like assumption log, basis of estimates, cost forecast, issue log, lesson learned register, milestone list, quality report, risk register, risk report, schedule, forecast, and work performance information, agreements, EEF, and OPS. Tools and techniques will be expert judgment, data analysis. In data analysis, we can have various analysis like alternative analysis, cost benefit analysis, earned value analysis, root cause analysis, trend analysis, variance analysis, decision making, and meetings. Output will be work performance reports and change request, project management plan update. We will be updating those components where the companies will be used. And then we can update project documents like cost forecast, issue log, lesson learned register, risk register, schedule forecast. Okay, so definition and importance of scope, validation of deliverable. Validation scope means we need to validate whether scope is completed or not. So it is the process of formalizing acceptance of the completed project deliverable. It brings objectivity to the acceptance process and increase the probability of final product, service, or result. So validating scope means if I said that I need 5 underground parking on the north side. So scope will be, yeah, parking is done, but I need to have proper lighting system. I should be ensuring that drainage is proper. So these things will include the scope. That's how I'm going to validate those. Okay, so validate scope versus control quality. Means validate scope process differs from control quality process in that the former is primarily concerned with acceptance to the deliverable, while control quality is primarily concerned with correctness of the deliverable and meeting the quality requirement specified for the deliverable. So control quality is generally performed before validating scope, although the two processes may be performed in parallel. So it means whenever we are working on control quality, it means we need to ensure that our process is that robust, that we don't get problems. And when we validate scope, then obviously if quality is already controlled, we tend to make lesser mistakes. All right. So what is now we'll talk about change control, which is integrated change control. To perform integrated change control is the process of reviewing all change requests, approving changes, and managing changes to deliverable, project documents and project management plan, and communicating the decisions. This process reviews all requests for changes to project document, deliverable, and project management plan, and determines the resolution of the change request. Key benefit means it allows for document changes within the project to be considered in an integrated manner while addressing overall project risk, which often arises from the change made without considering the overall project objective or plan. This process is performed throughout the project. So when we conduct this project integration change control, all right, so this will be conducted from project start throughout the completion. Its management is ultimately responsibility of the project manager. So you will be the responsible person for that. Change request can impact the project scope and product scope. Any project management plan components or any project document can be impacted by a change request. All right, so change may be requested by any stakeholder involved in the project and may occur at any time throughout the project lifecycle. All right, so what are the normal steps? It can vary from company to company, but these are the normal steps that we usually follow. So change request, even if it is initiated verbally, must be recorded in written form and entered into the change management or configuration management system. Change request will normally require information on estimated impact on other project parameters like scope, cost, schedule, risk, resources, and quality. The project manager must access all these impacts and include this analysis as part of their recommendation to the CCB. CCB is Change Control Board. Change Control Board is CCB. Every documented change request can be either approved, rejected, deferred. Deferred means partially approved by a responsible individual, usually project sponsor or project manager. This responsible individual will be identified in project management plan by organizational procedures. In any reasonable size project, to perform integrated change control process include Change Control Board, CCB, which is formally chartered group, responsible for reviewing, evaluating, approving, deferring, or rejecting change requests to the project for the recording and communicating such decision. Okay. And approved change request can require new or revised cost estimation, new or revised activity sequence, schedule date, resource requirement, and or risk analysis. Right? These changes can require adjustment to the project management plan as well. Yeah. So, but management of this project can be complicated because one change can alter so many things in the traditional project management that it is it is going to take a lot of time. All right. So we knew that change request and then we will validate it. Validate means we will check whether change is completed properly or not. So after a change request has been approved and implemented, it is essential that there is a process to ensure what all the changes, whatever approved by the change control board, has implemented. Only changes approved by the change control board have been implemented. It means we should not make further changes in our project which is not approved. But if something is approved, it must be implemented. All right, that's how we are going to validate it. Okay, the project team needs to identify and select configuration item to track and manage. Right, this will provide basis of which the product configuration is defined and verified. Products and documents are labeled, changes are managed, and accountability is maintained. Next is control schedule. The control schedule is the process of monitoring the status of the project to update the project schedule and managing changes to the schedule baseline. The key benefit of the process is that the schedule baseline is maintained throughout the project. The 4 steps of schedule control is establishing performance standard, visiting the actual performance, comparing actual performance to standard, and taking corrective actions. And what's the process here? So input is project management plan, project documents, work performance data, OPAs. Tools and techniques will be earn value analysis, iteration, breakdown chart, performance review, trend analysis, variance analysis, what if scenario analysis, critical path method, project management information system, resource optimization, leads and lags, and schedule compressions. Output will be work performance information, schedule forecast, change request, project management plan updates like schedule management plan will be updated, schedule baseline will be updated, cost baseline will be updated, and performance measurement baseline will be updated here. Right? So what kind of project document we are going to update? We'll update assumption log, basis of estimates, lesson learned register, project schedule, resource calendar, risk register, and schedule data. Okay, so in control process, we will have input like project management plan, project documents, we have lesson learned register, project funding requirement, work performance data, and OPS. And in control cost, basically, we will be working on tools and techniques like expert judgment. Expert judgment means you know that somebody who is expert can provide you immediate suggestion. That's called expert judgment. If I ask you how much time it will take to reach by car to some place, for example, if I ask you, okay, if somebody is in Toronto and you want to go to Kitchener, how much time it will take? If somebody has gone to that place in different times, like morning or evening or afternoon, that person can give you exact or almost accurate time to reach from one place to another place. That's called expert judgment. And you can use data analysis like earned value analysis, variance analysis, trend analysis, and reserve analysis. Okay. And to complete performance index, a project management project. So these kind of tools and techniques we can use. And after that, we get work performance information, cost forecast, change request, project management plan updates, and project document updates. All right, let's take a short break of 5 minutes, then we will continue. Okay, so we have seen this already, so we will not talk about detail, but yes, we can have kind of overview of tools and techniques of this control cost, like expert judgment we can use, like variance analysis, unvariable analysis, forecasting, and financial analysis. And data analysis can be done by something like this, like plan value, unvalue, and actual cost, using that. And we can get unvalue management analysis based on these numbers. You know that plan value is authorized budget assigned to the scheduled work, the activity or work package. This budget is typically allocated by phase over the line of the project. At a given point in time, plan value represents the work that should have been completed. The plan value of the PV, the total value of the plan value, is sometimes referred to the performance measurement baseline PMB, and total plan value for the project is also known as budget at completion PAC. All right. Unvalued is the measurement of work performed within the authorized work and the budget for that work. It is the budget associated with the authorized work that has been completed. All right. And actual cost is actual cost that has been spent. Okay, it's basically realized cost, which the money you have already spent for the work performed for the activity during that specific time period. Okay, so there is no upper limit. Whatever is spent to achieve unvalue will be measured and recorded. So project management information system will contain, which will use to monitor EVM dimensions like PV, EV, and AC to display graphic trend and forecast a range of possible final project results. All right. So PMIs provide access to the information technology software tools such as scheduling software tools. Scheduling the software tools can be Jira, Monday.com, Right, Project, Microsoft Project, or Project Libre. Work authorization system where we approve the work. It can be used in Jira as well because we can have multiple users, which will where users will be approving that yes, this work is completed. They can authorize that. Right? And configuration management system, information collection and distribution system. Collection, where you store the information. The distribution system could be sending emails, sending newsletters, sending SMS, or showing data in a big screen in your office. This can be the distribution system. And some traditional managers may ask you to provide printout of something. It is also your distributor system. So interfaces to other online automated systems such as corporate knowledge base repositories. These are the software where you give some information and they just keep it and present to the relevant people. Right? And automated gathering and reporting of key performance indicators, KPIs, will be the part of that. Then, very important part is monitoring risk. Do you understand what is risk? Risk is deviation from our plan. Right? So we need to monitor this. This means all the deviations. Whenever we talk about risk, we talk about positive, negative things, which can impact our project negatively. Yeah, because if we are concerned about negative things, we can manage our project well. But in project management, risks are positive risks as well, which we will call project opportunities, risk opportunities, and negative risks are called risk threats. All right. So monitoring risk is process of monitoring and implementation of agreed about risk response plan, tracking identified risk, identifying and analyzing new risks, evaluating risk process effectiveness throughout the project, and so on. So now, what does monitor risk process check? The project work should be continuously monitored for all project risks, for new changing and outdated individual risks. The project team should also look for changes in the level of overall project risks. All right. So the monitoring risk process uses performance information generated using reported during project execution to determine if implemented risk response are effective, level of overall project risk has changed, or status of identified individual project risk has changed, new individual project risk have arisen, project management approach is still appropriate, project assumption is still valid, risk management policies and procedures are being followed, contingency reserve for cost and schedule require notification, and project strategy is still valid. Right? And we can see this chart again. If you go to project management body of knowledge, you'll see monitor risk will have inputs in like risk management plan, project documents, work performance data, and work performance reports. We will have some tools and techniques like data analysis, like technical performance analysis, audits and meetings, and out will be work performance information, change request, project management plan update, and project document updates. Where we'll have assumption log, issue log, lesson learned register, risk report, and APIs updates. So let's talk about risk audits, tools and techniques for audit. So these audits are undertaken to evaluate the effectiveness of the risk management process. The project manager is responsible for ensuring that risk audits are performed at an appropriate frequency as defined in the project risk management plan. Risk audit may conducted as a part of regular project review meeting or as a special risk review meeting or as a separate risk audit meeting. Let's talk about risk escalation process. The risk response management, that risk manager and the project manager jointly formulate the strategy to deal with the risk. It may need help from outside the project team to initiate preventive measures. In such cases, the help from the sponsor and other specialized operations department like IT support, security, procurement, compliance may be needed. All right. Let's take a short break of 2 minutes, then we will continue a few more parts. All right. In the risk escalation process, we work on tracking and we work on response agility and communication. You know that in all the parts of project management, we are communicating a lot. So most of the time, you will think that your work is nothing, you are just talking to people. That's correct. As a project manager, your work is to talk to the to different stakeholders. That's the primary job that you are doing. And for the project completion, other team members are responsible for that. Your job is to make sure that project communication is proper with all the stakeholders. Understand? So although you must need some specific skills for the domain, for the market or industry, that's non-negotiable. But yes, if you are a good project manager, you need to understand how to handle those difficult stakeholders. Let you know that we don't call project team members as arrogant, we call them difficult stakeholders. Yeah, so that's how we are going to manage those. Now, another aspect of project management here is project and product quality. Product means the kind of output you're generating, product or service. We don't call it product. Product is usually called a physical product, but now we are calling digital product also as a product. For example, apps are product, websites are products. Okay. So quality has two perspectives, like product quality and project quality. When we talk about quality, we talk about product quality most of the time, but project quality is equally important in the project. So what we call it, what is in the project quality? It's organizational or internal standards, regulatory compliance, legal requirement for customer service, external standards. So not mandatory, but adapted by the project sponsor or the organization. Okay? They might ask you to, okay, now we are going to work with ISO standards or CMM standards. It's external. You're doing your job well, but why you need it? Because project sponsor said so. Now we have to do it. Okay, make sure you understand the complexity. They might use ISO certificate or CMM certificate just to show the top management that you are doing a quality work so that you get more projects. So don't think that they are doing this without a reason. They might have reasons, but now you need to think that if they want to do something, they might have some specific company-wide requirement. All right. And external standards that we have discussed, and other stakeholder impacting standards like quiet zone, like after 5 p.m., we should not have drilling machine work. Okay. Corporate social responsibilities, like what are we giving back to the society, utilities, adjacent landowners, like if you are doing something in one house, one place, adjacent houses should not be disturbed, and other things. This is basically in project quality. All right. So product quality requirement, basically what is the requirement? What is asked? Do that. Okay? That's the primary need. And then we have to work on quality management plan. That list of standards that we are going to follow, right? The minimum standards that we are going to follow. The measurement criteria and frequency and inspection criteria. All right. And quality management plan should include measurement to assess quality. These measures may include use of specified input, machines and tools, human resources, methods of product testing, product environment. And then we will be working on control quality. It means it's a very important phase, processing, monitoring, and controlling the results of executing the quality management activities. So we need to record everything. Key benefit of this process is verifying that the project deliverable and work meet the requirements specified by the key stakeholders of the final for the final acceptance. Project quality is good only when project or product quality is good only when your client will sign that yes, I like it. Whatever deviation you can do, if you can convince your client, it's a good quality. Whatever quality of work you have done, if it is not accepted by the client, it's a bad quality. Understand? It is quality means conformance to the requirement. If you are not meeting requirement, it's a bad quality. Funny, right? Yes, it is funny. Yeah. The quality is only conformance to the requirement, and whose requirement? It's a client's requirement or project sponsor's requirement. You should get money. That's the only target you will have if you manage the project. Okay, and we can have control quality, input tools and techniques and output. Right? We can have checklist, check sheets, and sampling. We can have cluster sampling, convenience sampling, quota sampling, judgment sampling, or snowball sampling. Okay, we can have questions and survey and performance review. We can also have inspection based on fishbone diagram. Okay, we call it cause and effect also. And we can have control charts where we will have upper limit of something. Like this is the upper limit, this is the lower limit. If something goes beyond the upper limit, then we have to control that. Okay, this is basically work for the control chart. Histogram is just a bar graph where you can see the range of something, and we can have scatter diagram where we can see some kind of trends, and obviously we can have some meetings, and then we can monitor communication. All right, so that's how we are going to manage these projects, and we have studied monitor the stakeholder engagement and communication to all the relevant stakeholders. If you have any question, feel free to message me or email me, and please check your weekly folder to complete the tasks. So that's all for today. Please make sure you check weekly folders and assign tasks.